Tonight on News 5 Live, a daring rescue at sea. A couple and their infant son are saved when their kayak overturned near Key Cocker. A toddler in the north consumes a hazardous pesticide and is in a critical condition at the KHMH. And a sugar truck carrying molasses overturns at the Halover. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Welcome to Design Depot, all in one place. Shop brands you know and trust, like Kohler. Welcome, GE Appliances.
Welcome,
Oran Windows.
Welcome,
Tiles from around the world.
welcome.
Sherwin-Williams Paint and Coatings. Visit us today at Mile 3 on the Philip Golson Highway or call us at 223-3768. Design Depot, all in one place.
Digi, the premier name in voice and data, is also the country's leading provider of innovative services and solutions for small business and enterprise. At DigiBusiness, we offer solutions, tools, and applications to support your business needs. Reduce costs, improve efficiency, and excel in a changing world where no idea is too big and no task is too small. From technology advising to design implementation and management, our team of qualified solution sales and specialists can develop a reliable and robust infrastructure, allowing you to spend more time on what matters most, your business. Visit us online to explore how DigiBusiness innovative products and solutions can help your business reduce costs and improve efficiency.
The CONCACAF Nations League 2022 is ready to kick off. On Thursday, June 2nd at 4 p.m., your Belize Jaguars will host the Dominican Republic at the FFB Stadium in Belmopan. And after going on the road to play Guatemala on June 5th, they will be back on home turf on Thursday, June 9th as they take on the French Guyana national team at the FFB Stadium at 4 p.m. Catch all the action live from Belmopan on Channel 5 and on our News 5 Facebook page, June 2nd and June 9th, starting at 4 p.m. Let's support and cheer for our national team, the Belize Jaguars, as they get the ball rolling for this year's CONCACAF Nations League Tournament.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited,
Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, June 1st. I am Sabrina Daly. We begin tonight with a daring rescue at sea that saved the lives of 3 persons, including an infant. A family of 3 was stranded at sea on Tuesday evening when the kayak they were traveling in capsized off the coast of Cape Cocker. While leaving the island, tour guide Antoine Parham observed at a distance what appeared to be a log in the water. Upon closer inspection, he was shocked to discover 2 adults making a frantic attempt at swimming to land with a toddler in hand. Parham and his passengers immediately sprung into action to bring the family aboard their vessel. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
A daring rescue at sea on Tuesday afternoon was captured on camera. Antoine Parham, a tour guide in training, was on his way back from Cape Cocker along with a group when they came across a child and his parents stranded at sea.
We were on a day trip from Cape Cocker. We had a day trip to Cape Cocker, and our trip was done and we were heading back to San Pedro. Right? On the way back, we were just observing, the water to look out for lags or whatever it is,
Yeah.
Then from afar, I get to notice about from 500 yards away, we get to see some floating object, So we thought it was like a big log that we could haul it out of the water and something. But as we get closer, we observed that it was, it was actually human.
The parents and their infant were attempting to get to a nearby island from Cape Cocker in a kayak. The vessel capsized several miles away from shore. The family attempted to swim back to where they left while the child was being carried by his father.
The lady told us that her baby, to go and save her baby, so that's when we looked over to the right and we saw the man and the baby, and that's when we went over and rendered aid to them, because what we would do for any other people or anyone that we see on the sea, I feel great, because it could have been anyone, it could have been us or for ourselves, it could have been my kid, it could have been your kid, anyone. And, to help someone in that sort of situation, I feel great, it could have been me, it could have been anyone else, and God just sent up like an angel at the time,
The child was immediately wrapped in a blanket by someone on board the boat. Parham says he has spent enough time on the water to realize that anyone can find themselves stranded at sea within the blink of an eye. His advice is to be prepared for the unexpected at all times.
You always have to prepare for the unprepared, You always have to prepare for the worst disaster ever, Anything can go wrong when you're out here, so you always just have to be prepared, for everything. But like you asked, with the canoe, the weather is okay, but if it's too choppy with a kid, it's not, it's not really, I wouldn't go out with my kids, even if it's choppy. I don't mind by myself. Yes. And I hope anyone out there, again, have come across anything like this, please don't leave these people out there. It could be a family member, anything, it could be anyone, man. Just put yourself in the same shoe as well, right? And do the good work.
While the rescue was successful, the question is whether or not the parents were acting responsibly by attempting to cross over to the next island with their toddler in a kayak. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
2-year-old Melanie Santos is tonight in a critical condition at the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital after she accidentally ingested poison while at home in San Felipe Village, Orange Walk. The details of the incident, which has been confirmed by police, are frightening for any family that has a small child running around the house. According to police, Melanie's father, Orlando Santos, placed pieces of bread soaked with lenate pesticide on the bed to deal with a rodent issue. Melanie was later observed consuming the bread. The toddler was rushed to the Northern Regional Hospital and later transferred to the KHMH in a critical condition. Registrar of Pesticides, Miriam Ochayeta Serot, says that the pesticide is a red label product. It is highly toxic to humans.
There's always reports of misuse or unintended, what they call unintended use of pesticides, such as this one. But when it involves children, of course, it really strikes a very, very a serious chord with us. We've had some bad cases in the past. The actual use, I mean, I don't want to add any further anguish to this family, but I would really like to appeal to the Belizean public. When you are handling a pesticide is a poison. Pesticides are poisons, right? And lanate, for example, contains an active ingredient called metomil. Metomil is highly hazardous. All these formulations, they belong to the higher level of hazard. They present the highest level of hazard, especially, well, in the case of metomil, which is the active ingredient in lanate. The lethal dose for that is 358 milligrams per kilo of body weight. So, you know, it becomes even more critical if we're talking about a child, because it's less body weight. So it's more hazardous to a child than to an adult because of the body weight. You understand? So it's really, really disturbing, right? And like I said, with the specific case at hand, there is no way anybody would intentionally ever put their child at risk like this. But I'd really like to appeal to the Belizean public, you know, to think more than twice when you are going to take care of a pest situation in your home when it concerns the use of pesticides.
Ochayeta Sarut says that since the Pesticide Control Board was formed back in 1988, there have been several incidents of children ingesting pesticide, which she says is totally inexcusable. She explains the possible effects of the poison and says that there is an antidote in the public health system.
How that affects people, just like another group called organophosphates. So organophosphates and carbamates, they are cholinesterase inhibitors. So those are the symptoms that the medical team at KHMH will be managing at this time with the child. And we really, really hope for a good outcome of this case. Because it's a cholinesterase inhibitor, some of the adverse effects that will be seen would be nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, muscle cramps, fatigue, insomnia, dizziness, headache. So cholinesterase inhibitors lead to increased communication between nerve cells. So that's the reason why you see that activity, like when you spray an insect with one of these pesticides from this class. Thankfully, for this class of pesticides, there is an antidote, so they will be administering atropine.
While the Registrar of Pesticides says that she cannot confirm at this time which lanate pesticide was used, she knows that there are 3 different formulations registered for use in Belize. But how did Santos get access to the chemical? Ochayeta Sarut says that there are limited options of pesticides for household use, and so the board finds the incident concerning because lanate is for agricultural use only. And so, an investigation is being launched.
Assuming that the incident occurred with the person using one of the 3 registered products in the country, we would want to know where he bought it and who recommended that use to him. Because it is a big issue, it is a serious issue that concerns us a lot, that pesticide retailers are recommending pesticides that are intended for agricultural use. They're recommending it for other uses. That practice has got to stop. It really has got to stop. Companies who register these pesticides and who import these pesticides and who sell these pesticides, they are to be bound. They are bound by a code of ethics established by the FAO, International Code of Conduct on Pesticide Management. They know very well. Nobody is ignorant to that fact in that sector. You know, they know about this. It is their stewardship responsibility to ensure that they make no recommendations contrary to the label. Right? So that's the first thing we will want to know. How did this use come about?
Coming up, NEMO holds a press conference at the start of the 2022 hurricane season. And will the remnants of Agatha pose a threat to Belize? Details when we return.
As things get back to normal, it is time to get back on track with your health. RF&G Life Insurance is back again with our annual health fair. Come on out to Orange Walk Town Central Park on June 10th at 9 a.m. Come take advantage of all the free, yes, free glucose and urine testing, free dental and vision checkup, and free blood works. Or give back to the community and donate to our blood drive. You can also enjoy the live performances by the Orange Walk Martial Arts Academy. Our agents will be present to accommodate all your insurance needs. Come on out and be a part of the Life Company's Health Awareness Fair, because our health is our greatest wealth. See you there.
Yeah, I know him from before he in my womb. From I know he nobody ever disrespected him. Because then he is who he is. He is gay, he is friendly, and everybody respectable. Just respect him for who he is. In a human being. Just the word hate means to me that no got no meaning, because you're not for hate. If I love everything, I appreciate. I live in Belmopan, I live around Guatemalans, Hondurans, Spanish, Maya, Creole, Garifuna. As I said, growing up, right? They say love your neighbors. Neighbor need to look out for one another.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
An ASR BSI trailer truck carrying molasses overturned on a Hummingbird highway. This morning, the driver was on his way to deliver molasses to ASR's Big Creek Port facility for export. A group of passerbys rendered assistance to free the driver from beneath the truck where he was trapped. He was then transported to the Southern Regional Hospital with both feet swollen, as well as cuts to the arm caused by shards of broken glass. We spoke via Zoom with William Neal, the Communications Director at ASR BSI.
We're not 100% sure on the circumstances, but we do know that what the outcome has been. Our driver was unfortunately trapped in the cab of the truck. He was hauling molasses from the mill here in Tower Hill to our Big Creek facility for export. Fortunately, people from the area to whom we're very, very grateful came out to render support until medical people were able to get there. Despite being trapped in the cab, it seems like at this point that he has broken his legs, but there was no head or severe body injuries. So he has been stabilized at the Southern Regional and is being transported later today to KHMH. And of course, the company is making sure that he gets the best medical attention. We have emergency procedures in place, and immediately, our supply chain team, which manages the movement of raw sugar and molasses to the facility in Big Creek, was on the scene to make sure that he was taken care of. And he is being, taken care of in every way that is possible.
He is being kept at the Southern Regional Hospital for observation. Neal also spoke about the company's containment procedures when it comes to responding to a spill. He says ASR's environmental health and safety team responded to the scene immediately and contacted the Department of Environment.
At the same time, our EHS team, environmental health and safety, was also dispatched to make sure that we follow our procedures in terms of containment of any material. Even though it's molasses, we have to make sure that we do follow the procedures that we have established with DOE, which includes informing them that we're on site. They will come to the location and ensure that we're following all the procedures. So all around, this is something that you never want to happen, but when it does, we do have the procedures set in place to ensure that we manage it effectively and efficiently. As I said before, we don't know what led to the accident itself, but we do have procedures in place. Drivers, are given a certain amount of trips per day, but they're also required to take a certain amount of rest. So it wouldn't have been a situation, or we can't say, but it's definitely not a situation of, trying to complete as many trips as possible, because we have guidelines put in place to manage all of that, to make sure that we don't have drivers on the road that are tired, that are, putting themselves and other people at risk. So we follow, the rules set out by One Labor laws, and also by best practices, by our certification that we have in place.
Of normal 2022 Atlantic hurricane season is due to the likely presence of the La Niña phenomenon, as well as warmer than normal sea temperatures in the Atlantic Ocean. In anticipation of the possibility of Belize coming under threat, today the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, and the National Meteorological Service held a press conference to advise people on the do's and don'ts. News 5's Marian Ali was there and has this report.
21 storms have been predicted for this year, and in the event that one or more of them threaten Belize, the Local Disaster Emergency Preparedness and Response Authority, NEMO, and the National Met Service today shared their plan. Head of the organization, retired Colonel Shelton DeFore, said that they have been conducting shelter inspections and training people on their roles and responsibilities, and where in the past, public officers who were entrusted with the keys to hurricane shelters went incommunicado at the most critical hour, that's not going to be the case now, DeFore assured.
The system to access the keys to get to the schools will be the district coordinator arranging with the principal or the management of the school to get the keys so that the school can be open to allow people to get to the shelter of their choice, and that will reduce the fuss of the point you made about some persons not being available.
DeFore says NEMO commanders have ensured to stay in communication in the event a hurricane renders the national communications company's transmitters non-functional. The NEMO warehouses across the country have also been stocked, and accessing the goods in times of need should not take excessively long. But that's the response after a hurricane hits. What concerns a lot of people is taking into account safety protocols at a time when COVID infections are once again on the rise.
Upon arriving at a shelter, persons will need to show their status in terms of vaccination, because it impacts on shelter space. If you're not vaccinated, the classrooms which we normally put 30 persons in will only be able to house 10. So we lose considerable amount of shelter space. So if you're vaccinated, then we could increase the shelter space to about 20 persons per classroom, which means more people can shelter. For persons who have COVID or showing signs of COVID, the screening with the Ministry of Health rep will have them quarantined at a particular sector or section of that shelter.
The evacuation of large numbers of people from coastal communities and municipalities, including from densely populated areas such as Belize City before a hurricane strikes, could also be chaotic if certain elements are not taken into consideration. Liaison officer with the City Emergency Management Organization for the Belize City Council, Melanie Dawson, said there have been simulations in each constituency to evacuate Belize City residents to Belmopan.
I would say we do simulations as well to see how rightly these routes would fit, because as you all know, if we get a warning or a storm is coming, sometimes the streets, the roads and everything, get blocked up, right? So with our plan in place, I would say that the evacuation route would definitely play a huge role. Now, to start off, the routes are set by constituency. we have a pickup point in each constituency. For example, for the Cullet area, we will have a pickup point at Unity Presbyterian. From there, they will be transported to Belmopan.
Aside from evacuation, disseminating information in a timely fashion is also key during a hurricane's passage. But Chief Meteorologist Ronald Gordon discourages people from using social media to do so because it can overwhelm people into complacency.
We know that with social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, there are many persons out there claiming to be experts that are actually putting out information that oftentimes serves to create unnecessary panic. And one of the things is that when you overwarn people, they become complacent when something actually is coming because they've heard that story so many times. So it's important that we use and we focus on official sources of information.
The team advised every family to have a hurricane plan for how you will take care of yourself, your family members, and your pets, whose lives oftentimes are never taken into consideration when evacuation is necessary. Colonel DeFore says NEMO will have on its website a list of locations where people could probably take their animals in the event a hurricane looms over Belize. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
Just a day ago, the forecast for remnants of Hurricane Agatha was that they would formulate and dump considerable rainfall over the region, causing flooding in mostly northern Belize. Agatha, a Category 2 hurricane, was the strongest storm to form over the Pacific in the month of May. It belted the southern coast of Mexico 2 days ago, leaving 11 people dead and 33 missing in flooding and mudslides. And while it is forecasted to re-emerge somewhere over the Gulf of Mexico and likely threaten Belize, the probability of that happening has significantly reduced overnight. Chief Meteorologist Ronald Gordon told us that we can breathe a little easier, at least for now.
The remnants of Agatha gradually move across Mexico and Yucatan and is emerging into the northwestern Caribbean Sea at the moment. Indeed, Belize was caught up in the broad, moist flow surrounding that system, and that was indeed a part of the reason why we have been having heavy rainfall over the past few days. With Agatha having moved now, or almost emerging into the waters, there's a high chance that it may redevelop into a tropical depression, but the projection is for that system to move to the northeast, away from Belize, away from Yucatan, and head towards Cuba and Florida. So in terms of our weather, we could expect that the rainfalls will gradually decrease and the threat of flooding also decreasing.
Oaxaca State Governor Alejandro Murat says the death toll and the number of those missing were still preliminary. In the town of San Isidro del Palmar, the Tonameca River overflowed, forcing residents to wade through neck-deep water to retrieve whatever belongings were still salvageable from their homes. Following the rains overnight, a portion of the Crooked Tree Causeway was reportedly under at least 1 foot of water this morning. Residents fear that with inclement weather conditions in the north, the lagoon in the village will overflow, and they will be faced with a road that is impassable by vehicular traffic. By midday, most of the water had receded from the road. News 5 spoke today with Steve Perriott, a concerned resident who is seeking help in addressing the issue.
It has been less as of late, but the troubling thing about this one is this is the first major rain of the season and the lagoon never went dry. And if we get more rains like this and the causeway already covered for a short time, then we could expect more of that. And all we were saying is that money's been designated for this road 2 different times. And on both occasions, because of other emergencies across the country, the money was taken away to do that. We understand that. And right now there's over $100 million being spent on roads. And we understand that too. Those are very important also. But this road is the only way in and out for Crooked Tree. We're just bringing this to to GOB's attention that we don't want to go through another year of boats. You know, we appreciate when the Coast Guard comes, but that's a lot of money, it's a lot of resources that, you know, maybe if we jump on it quickly, we don't have to spend.
The last time boats were used for residents to traverse to and from the village was pre-COVID. And while the traces of Hurricane Agatha may not pose a direct threat to Belize, farmers in low-lying and flood-prone areas are being advised, nonetheless, that the northern, central, and southern parts of the country may be in danger of flooding. Farmers are being advised to pay keen attention to the weather situation, which is likely to get worse over the next few days. Producers of crops are advised to harvest all available and mature crops. Take an inventory of all crops that have been planted, as well as the production amount. Producers with greenhouses are being asked to remove covering materials and safely store equipment and supplies, while livestock producers are advised to temporarily relocate animals to safer areas. Additionally, they are asked to secure all farm machinery and farm inputs. After the break, students in Cotton Tree received their first dose of Pfizer COVID vaccines. But first, here is a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
Babe, have you seen the advisory that NEMA just posted? There's going to be a storm.
Storm? It's not a storm. That's just a little rain. We'll be all right.
Thank goodness that was only a simulation. But what if it wasn't? Consider this. You've worked hard building your future, your family, your business, your home. RF&G Insurance has policy options that can protect your most valued assets so that you can focus on what matters most. Include RF&G Insurance in your hurricane prep. Remember, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a Road Group company.
Work began in May of last year, and in the past 12 months, we have seen the installation of 800 additional water meters for homes, schools, churches, and other facilities. The water tank behind us has been rehabilitated to improve the quality of water being distributed between San Jose and San Pablo. A brand new pump house was built, a new generator has been installed, and the electrical works have been upgraded to increase the supply of water.
To improve the lives of all Belizeans. That is the #1 aim of Plan Belize, to serve Belize and to improve your lives, and not just with words, but with actions. No matter in which area you are in of the country, this government will make each and every effort to reach out to you, to reach out to the people of Belize, to improve their lives through better services.
Plan Belize outlined a great vision of working and supporting our rural areas. We have over 55% of our population living in the rural areas. And we all know the challenges that our people in the rural area have faced for many years. We are here to change that, because that is the commitment that we made. that we are going to work hard. We are going to transform the rural area for the benefit of our people.
Todo beliceño merece tener una conexión de internet de calidad, rápida y confiable en su hogar. Para clases en línea y trabajo desde casa, es la nueva forma de vida. Diginet es el proveedor número 1 de servicio de fibra óptica, impulsando la transición digital de Belice. Y ahora nuestro servicio de Diginet es aún más accesible con nuestro nuevo plan de entrada. Por tiempo limitado, tú y tu familia pueden disfrutar de 20 megabits por segundo por solamente $49 mensuales. No más clases perdidas ni reuniones virtuales interrumpidas. Te está costando mucho tiempo y dinero. Diginet es mejor que cualquier opción de cable o servicio inalámbrico. Visita cualquier Digistore hoy y suscríbete para la conexión más rápida y confiable de Internet para el hogar en Belice. Ven a ver lo que te has estado perdiendo. El mismo servicio de fibra de alta calidad, rápido y confiable, ahora a un precio aún más bajo. Para más información, visita www.livedigi.com/Diginet. Digi, nuestra telecomunicación nacional.
The CONCACAF Nations League 2022 is ready to kick off. On Thursday, June 2nd at 4 p.m., your Belize Jaguars will host the Dominican Republic at the FFB Stadium in Belmopan. And after going on the road to play Guatemala on June 5th, they will be back on home turf on Thursday, June 9th as they take on the French Guyana national team at the FFB Stadium at 4 p.m. Catch all the action live from Belmopan on Channel 5 and on our News 5 Facebook page, June 2nd and June 9th, starting at 4 p.m. Let's support and cheer for our national team, the Belize Jaguars, as they get the ball rolling for this year's CONCACAF Nations League Tournament.
Biodegradable plastics. When talking about plastic, don't you always hear people say that this plastic or that plastic is biodegradable, eco-friendly, environmentally friendly, green, or even ecological? Well, the truth is that these words and many others like them are often used to give the impression that the product is better for the environment. When shopping, the terms to look for are bio-based, compostable, or environmentally degradable plastics because they are tested against specific standards to ensure that they are broken down with minimal impacts to the environment. But what does biodegradable really mean? To put it simply, it is the breakdown of something into water, carbon dioxide, and biomass by the action of living organisms, usually bacteria or fungus. However, people call some plastics biodegradable, but they never fully break down because they still contain plastics made from petroleum or inorganic material. The plastics just break down into tinier pieces called microplastics, which then enter the food cycle through the ingestion by animals that people eat. Don't be fooled, check your labels. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
For the past 2 decades, Belize has established a working relationship with the Central American Commission for Maritime Transport, COCATRAM. While Belize Port Authority has been working closely with the regional organization, the country is not yet a member and hasn't been enjoying the full benefits of membership. That's until now. Port Commissioner Gilbert Swazo and a team from COCATRAM sat down to discuss Belize's formal association with COCATRAM.
We may all know that Belize as a country is a member of SICA, and COCATRAM is one of the organizations that are integrated with SICA. Belize for over 20 years have been associated with Cocotram and have derived some significant benefits as a result of being associated with Cocotram. However, there is tremendous more benefits to be earned if Belize should become a full-fledged member of Cocotram. So it is then that we have a delegation of 4 people, which includes the Vice Minister, the President of Cocotram, and the Executive Director, who are here with us to explain to the Minister, the Chairman of the Board, and the Senior Management of the Belize Port Authority the tremendous benefit that can be derived for a country, and as a maritime and port administration. Those benefits include training, they also include technical capacity building and contingency planning, just at the very basic. We as a country also, and as an authority, is also responsible for port state control inspection. And again, that is something that we can get the technical capacity from Cocotram with a view for us to be better able to conduct those inspections, so that then we ensure that the vessels that are coming into Belize are operating safely.
According to Saul Contreras, head of delegation of Cocotram, Belize will benefit from national maritime strategies that will allow for easier movement of goods across the maritime space.
As you may know, Cocotram is the Central American Commission for Maritime Transport, and we've been operating for over 40 years now, trying to promote a regional and integrated maritime strategy for the different countries in Central America. Belize is part of Central America, and it makes total sense to have Belize be a part of Cocotram, especially considering how important maritime transport and the maritime activities are for the development of Belize. Just like Major Suazo said, like Commissioner Suazo mentioned, there are different benefits that we can share with you about joining Cocotram. I believe that beyond the benefits that are related with the different conventions that Cocotram has, especially with institutions like the IMO, the International Maritime Organization, that has a very strong capacity building program that is conducted through Cocotram, and it's basically an example for the different regions in the world. I can probably say that it's one of the strongest capacity building programs for any region in the world.
Over the past few weeks, CARICOM nations have been deliberating whether they will attend the upcoming Summit of the Americas. Well, after much discussion, CARICOM has decided that member states that choose to attend are at liberty to do so. Initially, CARICOM was prepared to boycott the summit, following the United States of America's refusal to invite Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua to the summit. And while Prime Minister Don Briceño has announced that Belize will be in attendance, reports are that a couple CARICOM nations are still holding out. U.S. officials are reportedly still in deliberation and are yet to make a final decision on whether the country will change its position. Here is what Senior Director for the Western Hemisphere at the United States National Security Council, Juan Gonzalez, had to say during a regional teleconference earlier today.
I'm not getting into the specifics of the considerations, because I think fundamentally what this administration has done, whether it's on this topic or on any topic, is treated the countries of the region as our partners, that, whose views we have to take into serious account. And certainly with Mexico and with others that have expressed the view, we have tried to engage in a conversation and been very respectful of the different perspectives. And then ultimately, it's something that, as the host prerogative, will make a final decision, and we'll announce that once the decision has been made. Is it a distraction from the summit itself? Look, I don't think so. It's hard to, I think, confirm anything until it actually happens, but we are really confident that the summit will be well attended.
The 9th Summit of the Americas is scheduled for June 6 to the 10th, 2022. Since the launch of the new vaccine for children ages 5 to 11 on Monday, there has been no report of any child having adverse reactions. In fact, from all indications so far, the vaccine has been widely welcomed. Over at St. Joseph's RC Primary School in Cotton Tree Village, the situation is no different, with an expectation of a high turnout percentage, as News 5's Marian Ali found out. Here's her report.
The vaccination of Belize's youngest citizens, children ages 5 to 11, has so far been well received. And today, on the third day, when we visited St. Joseph's RC Primary School in Cotton Tree Village, parents of the 150 or so students who fall within that category have also supported the vaccination drive overwhelmingly.
The parents have been very supportive and receptive to taking the vaccine now. Because when we had the first stage, they were a bit hesitant because of the knowledge about the vaccine and whether they should take it or not. But now with information being sent out, we send out information in Spanish and English because we have immigrants among us. So for them to get that information and be able to be informed and make that right decision.
Present to assist with the process was Dr. Nympha Ken, an internist with the Ministry of Health who is working with the COVID-19 vaccination program. She says that parents' response to the vaccine in the Cayo district has been positive.
Parents come with the kids and they get their vaccines, and then we observe them for a period of time, and so far we have had no kind of any adverse reaction.
Parents from two separate households, Deidre Rekenia and Hugo Barcenas, had different reasons why they were initially reluctant to have their children vaccinated. But today, both parents decided to let their boys receive the first dose.
So I did feel that it was important for him to get it, especially how he's already doing face-to-face, schooling back again compared to when he was just home. It was okay. I'm going to office as well, so it's for his safety, and safety for his siblings that he does take the vaccine here at school.
I see that it took a little bit out of him to get
Yes,
the shot.
it did. He doesn't like injections, but he still remained strong, took his shot.
This is a very difficult decision for me and for my wife.
Why?
Because he's with a special need child, so he had been with difficult with the heart. He eventually he has to. We have to take a while to decide to make he take this vaccine because of his illness.
Yes, but eventually you said yes. Why?
Yes. Why I say yes? Because of I don't want to lose him, and I know that with his problems and this disease is a killer. So I take the decision to make he take this vaccine.
For kids like little Arlen, who have a natural fear of needles, Dr. Ken says that having parents present helps. But when that isn't possible, the nurses on hand have to apply their skills.
Children who are afraid of needles, well, you will have a response.
Yeah.
Like they'll get, will cry, they'll get a little agitated.
So what should parents do? Talk to them? Coach them?
Yes, they should talk to their kids, and well, their presence means a lot when they come to get the vaccine here. So,
and do you as medical experts and practitioners also do that for the children? Do you talk them through it?
Yes, so especially when they have a lot of problems in getting the vaccine.
Yes.
What do you do? The nurses are trained. They comfort them, explain to them.
But for parents who are still hesitant to have their children vaccinated, teacher Kenrick Francisco says the school just has to continuously promote optimal hygiene practices.
We don't discriminate per se, but we encourage and we ensure that the students wear their masks to school. They sanitize every time they exit the classroom. When they come back, they need to sanitize. So we're still following the protocols.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
When we return, spatial monitoring and what it means for Belize's conservation effort. But first, here is the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
Are busy, and it's easy to be on the go and forget to take care of yourself. How often do you stop and take a good look at your life? And when you do you have the brutal realization that who you are today is so far from the person you want to be? Let us help you close that gap. Join us for Sagebrush Church, where you'll learn more about God, the Bible, and yourself. Tune in to hear a powerful teaching and participate in engaging worship every week right here for Sagebrush Church.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Déjame mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad in the month of June. Visit a Benny's near you and get store-wide discounts on selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Charbroil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's. Celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
The National Spatial Monitoring and Reporting Tool Conference was held this morning in Belmopan, where representatives of the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Wildlife Conservation Society, and the National Biodiversity Office met to discuss new technologies to aid enforcement officers in safeguarding Belize's marine and terrestrial protected areas. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
Collecting, measuring, and evaluating data are important in improving the effectiveness of wildlife conservation efforts. The National Protected Areas System, NPAS, covers roughly 46% of Belize's land mass. managing and protecting wildlife and wild places have been made easier by using a platform that is made up of a set of software and analysis tools.
Smart is basically an Android application. It can be installed on any mobile device. It's a very user-friendly application that basically assists with the streamlining and sort of systematizing how information is gathered out in the field.
Short for Spatial Monitoring and Reporting Tool, SMART, has proven useful in the areas of marine and terrestrial law enforcement. The Wildlife Conservation Society introduced the technology back in 2012, but it wasn't until 3 years later that it began to gain traction within the conservation community.
The tool has been or is fully implemented in the marine system. So we always talk about the success there. When it comes to the terrestrial area, it's picking up. So we have partners all the way in south, Yaksha Conservation Trust, for example. We have some in the north as well, already implementing the systems.
According to Saul Cruz, a biodiversity officer, it is envisaged that the data model will provide sufficient real-time data to government agencies and other users to inform intelligence-based activities that aid in the identification of hotspots of illegal activities.
Part of the rangers' work is to carry out patrols and field activities. So the tool is basically, well, one part of the tool, which is the Android-based application, basically ensures that the rangers are collecting and not missing the critical components of their enforcement job. So any observations in relation to pressures, threats, illegal activities is recorded within the system. The system automatically collects spatial data, your GPS coordinates. It allows you to take pictures, it allows you to input any observations, so you can type in observations and details of any particular incident that you have. The pictures are geo-referenced, so at any point in time you can tag those images, you can go back to a specific point on a map.
The government of Belize, through the Ministry of Sustainable Development, is looking for opportunities to improve system performance, as well as a protection of critical habitats and biodiversity.
The ministry really is trying to find more integrated ways to address enforcement, address protected areas management in general. You see, we all understand that we have very limited resources as it relates to investments in protected areas. There's a significant financial gap in terms of investments for protected areas. What today's conference is doing is to look at a specific tool that will help to collate data, collate information as it relates to enforcement, as it relates to monitoring, as it relates to reporting, and improve really the data that we have to inform policy.
The theme for this year's SMART conference is integrating data collection through smart technology, strengthening Belize's approach to protected areas enforcement. Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
Earlier in our newscast, we spoke with Miriam Ochayeta Sarat about the unfortunate incident in the north where a little girl ingested a poisonous chemical. During our conversation with the Registrar of Pesticides, we asked for an update on another incident, this one in San Vicente Village, Toledo District. 6 persons fell ill after ingesting contaminated water from their pipes. It is believed that a resident poured the pesticide malathion into the village's water system. The public health unit has since flushed out the system, but no one has been charged for the incident, which could have potentially led to poisoning an entire community. Ochayeta Sarat says the exact product has still not been confirmed.
It's still unconfirmed if the picture that was circulating on social media, if that was the product that they found on the site. But the recommendation, what I know is that some tests have been carried out on the water system. We were recommending that the tank be replaced, but they had been able to conduct some tests, but we haven't received a final report from the Ministry of Health on the results of those tests. But a team has been working on it and to make the recommendation of to make the call when the system is safe enough to to be used again. And of course, that case really brought to light the need to ensure that these systems have adequate security or safeguards to prevent anything like this from happening. Apparently, from the legal standpoint, they couldn't place the person on the site. So I understand that is how that case is playing out.
June to November is when everyone should be prepared to put into action a hurricane plan. That plan includes having sufficient flashlights or lanterns and a battery-operated radio, medications, drinking water, and importantly, food supplies. But if you will need to pass a hurricane at one of the designated shelters, taking along some food would also be in your best interest. Today, NEMO coordinator, retired Colonel Shelton DeFore, said that while the government will do its part to look after people at the shelters, they also need to do their part.
So people need to plan and to see what priorities they will look at in terms of stocking up on food. Because I could say we stock up on cell phone sometime. So if we could stock up on cell phone, I'm sure we could stock up on food, right? So we need to look at our priorities. People coming to the shelter, we ask that you bring along something if you can. A Sonny-a-tan bun, cheese whiz, bottle of peanuts butter. Have something, you know. NEMO, the state, the government of Belize have an obligation to support and look after the people, but let us try and work together. You meet us halfway and we'll meet you the next half, so that you do your part and we do our part.
Next week, reporters will be touring ASR BSI's newly developed $30 million facility at the Big Creek Port. This is the first opportunity the viewing public will get to see the facility that has been 3 years in the making. It is a significant investment, one that the company says will considerably increase the loading rate while cutting down on the loading time. According to Communications Director William Neal, both the farmers and the company will realize savings as a result of the port infrastructure.
It has been more than 3 years that we've been working on this project, and what we have is a state-of-the-art facility that we will have all moving parts together. We have our first major export of about 30,000 metric tons of raw sugar. And so we're inviting the media down to see exactly how it works. This is a state-of-the-art facility that has some portable conveyor belts, a very impressive system that actually makes the loading rate much faster. And we are inviting the media so that people see that this investment is all about efficiency and minimizing costs, because we have to be competitive in terms of our loading rate. To go from 500 or maximum of 1,000 to about 5,000 to 7,000, somewhere within that range on a daily basis, makes us competitive globally in terms of loading of sugar. So we go from a 5 to 6 week loading process of anchorage to a 5 to 6 day loading rate and process at Big Creek. So it will bring savings not only to the company, but also to the farmers, and improve and increase the foreign direct foreign earnings that we have.
Just ahead, meet the FFB national female team when we return.
My name is Wilmer De La Rosa from Santa Elena Town. I am currently a student at Cayo, set for employment training. Enrolled in the electrical installation program. In late July 2021, I got a confirmation that I was a successful applicant and would be granted a scholarship from Social Security Board. It was one of the proudest moments for me. I felt very excited to start this new path in my life. So far on my journey as a Social Security Board scholar, my vocational technical scholarship has assisted me in achieving my life goals in so many ways. For one, it has renewed sense of purpose, another chance at professional development, and a start at a new career. This opportunity has paved the way for me to excel in life as an individual and as a member of society. Great things are coming after I graduate from SET. I can promise you that. Applying for a vocational technical scholarship through the Social Security Board is simple and easy. I would advise young people in need to apply. It is possible to create a fulfilling and fruitful life with a Social Security scholarship. Believe in yourself and your abilities and skills. I always say the key is to always keep an open mind and let your determination be your motivation.
In 2018, before I was diagnosed with cervical 4A, stage 4A cancer. First, it was a size of a grapefruit. That's what the doctor told me. The kidney got enlarged. I couldn't do any chemotherapy because of the kidney. So I had to do only radiation. And I did my first session of 25. And then when I finished with the 25 sessions, I went back, she checked it, and she saw 4 centimeters. And I went back for the next 10 days, and after that, when she checked it again, she said, oh, it's like nothing is there. It wasn't painful, but it's just it's a machine that you go under, and they have like a big, like a circular, and that goes 5 times. It'll take 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do the radiation, 1 session. Then you go back the next morning, another session. Well, I personally will highly recommend Galenia Hospital because of its good services, friendly staff, the doctors, very caring. Well, I just want to thank them for everything that they have done for me, you know, the staff and the doctor, especially Dr. Jamie. That she was my doctor for the radiation. No?
The CONCACAF Nations League 2022 is ready to kick off. On Thursday, June 2nd at 4 p.m., your Belize Jaguars will host the Dominican Republic at the FFB Stadium in Belmopan. And after going on the road to play Guatemala on June 5th, they will be back on home turf on Thursday, June 9th as they take on the French Guyana national team at the FFB Stadium at 4 p.m. Catch all the action live from Belmopan on Channel 5 and on our News 5 Facebook page, June 2nd and June 9th, starting at 4 p.m. Let's support and cheer for our national team, the Belize Jaguars, as they get the ball rolling for this year's CONCACAF Nations League Tournament.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Off goal, what a goal from Leo Messi! What an incredible strike from Leo Messi! Neymar and Messi is standing over this. Messi! Off goal, what a goal from Leo
Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
In Belmopan today at the Football Federation of Belize headquarters, the U15 female national team was officially announced. Like the national senior men's team, this team will be participating in a series of UNCAF qualifying matches. These games are scheduled for August of this year. But even before then, the team heads to a tournament next week to compete against countries from the Caribbean and Central America. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
The Baby Jaguars, or the U15 female national team, was officially presented at the FFB headquarters today in Belmopan. It is part of the commitment of the Federation to develop female football in Belize.
Since March 2022, these girls have been coming to camp on a weekly basis and engaging in theoretical and practical sessions. They've worked very hard and been consistent. We are very proud of these Baby Jaguars.
With 2 months of training down, how ready are these female athletes?
It's like a dream come true for me. We work extremely hard in learning how to play the game as well as maintaining and balancing with our schoolwork. This experience had made me become a better player, and I am willing to continue to work harder and advance to other levels. I have not only improved my training abilities, but my football skills have been enhanced. Alongside the physical aspect, we have been instilled with good sportsmanship, strong character, and discipline.
These young female athletes have been preparing for the UNCAF qualifiers, which will be held in August.
UNCAF has decided that they will do a preparation before the UNCAF tournament in August. So the girls are currently preparing for 2 tournaments. One that will be held between the 5th to the 12th of June in Costa Rica, where they will have 7 teams that will be participating in that tournament. 5 from Central America and 2 from the Caribbean region, which is Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. From Central America, we will have Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Puerto Rico, Honduras, El Salvador, and Belize. We are in a group, we are in Group B, which is El Salvador, Dominican Republic, and just Salvador and Dominican Republic. Our first game will be on Tuesday, the 7th.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.